Okay, so we began on record label types on Monday, and it has been edited and it is up on Blackboard if you haven't listened to that or watched that yet. All right, so let's look at the major three for a moment, and we'll talk about who they are, and then we're going to get into their sub-labels. The first one is Universal Records. And Universal is a very, very large record label. Many of the bigger labels that are as considered sub-labels of Universal would include labels like Interscope or Geffen or A&M. And, you know, when you look at the artists that are on each one of these, you can see the scope of largeness and how big Universal is, because they represent these record labels. In addition, they also have Capitol, Def Jam, EMI, Island, Lost Highway, MCA Nashville, Mercury Records, Motown, Octone, Virgin Music, Universal Republic Records are all part of this, as well as their Latin labels, Universal Music Latino, Fonavisa Records, Disa Records, Shetty Records, lots of Verve. A whole bunch of record labels are under their umbrella as sub-labels. And you can see that the list just goes on and on and on. So when you're looking at the major record labels, if you're dealing with any of those that I just mentioned, you got to realize that they're all under the Universal brand. So Universal runs them all. And you can imagine how big of a company it is. It is. And as I'd mentioned in the last class, when we were talking about record label types, Universal is owned by Seagram's, the alcohol company. And Seagram's is owned by another company in France. It starts with a C. I can't remember the name right offhand. The second major record label is Sony BMG. A lot of people just call it Sony now, but BMG was a huge record label, Bertelsmann Music Group, but Sony bought them out. But Sony also controls Arista, Columbia, Epic, J, Jive, Legacy, RCA Victor, and RCA. So Sony's got quite a bit of power also. And if you're dealing with any of those record labels, just realize that you're really dealing with Sony. And the last of the big three is Warner Brothers. And Warner Brothers also has a selection of record labels underneath them: A&E, Asylum, Atlantic, Elektra, Helium 3, Nonsuch Records, Reprise, Tommy Boy, and they sometimes have other record labels underneath them and other record labels underneath them. My point here that I was trying to show to you in this short presentation was that these record labels, all of those you probably recognize. And if you don't, you might want to just go back and think about who they are, who's running them, what style of music that they might present, because some of them are niche only. They do a certain style of music as opposed to others that only, that do a broader realm of the genres out there.